Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh. That poor little microphone doesn't deserve to be thrown on the floor.
I don't know, man. I think this big one's got something to say about it.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
He's getting jealous.
Yeah.
So,
hello.
Straight out of the gate, I just want to say, Avoca Beach Picture Theatre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Avoca Beach Theatre. Thank you very much for the message.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
We will be seeing you sometime in December once we get our schedule sorted.
Absolutely.
But there's quite a bit of movies attracting me there.
Yes, there is. Yes,
No.
they do seem to play a lot of interesting films, which like as we said, in terms of like more artsy things, and obviously the big blockbusters as well. But I think we've seen so many movies, especially all of the blockbusters, being a pop culture podcasters, that I really want to start seeing more artsy fartsy, lesser well known things now.
I want to see the ones that come and go, but take the awards season by storm.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to see Adam Driver emotionally abusing Scarlett Johansson, like
yeah. Also, you said Parasite is coming to a cinema near us.
Yes.
Apparently that movie is as good as people say it is.
Exactly.
So,
I know. I just, man, we could have we could have broken the internet because I mentioned that back in like episode 20 or something like weeks ago, and was like, oh, Parasite's a movie coming out, blah blah blah.
Yeah, people are saying like best movie of the year.
I know.
Kind
Apparently,
of thing.
it's there's a chance it could be up for best film at the Oscars, not just best international. Like, Jesus, we missed the boat. But it is playing locally at the Regal. Shout out the Regal if you want to hook us up with some tickets.
Absolutely, yeah.
Follow Avoca Beach's footsteps.
Yeah.
Anyway, they say life begins now. Well, if that's the case, don't you go catching some winks because it's time for 2c3pod. WD-Whaaaaat! Hitting you with a little bit of trivia. You're not going to get it.
Okay.
Which actor, while filming a movie in Spain, he had a woman stalking him in his apartment for several weeks. So he was bored at the time, took her out to dinner, complained about his life, and she never contacted him again.
See, that sounds very similar to another story about a pop star, actually. Except the story goes a little bit differently. But in my story that I know of, it's Robbie Williams.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to guess it there.
No, who is it?
It's the sparkling Batman.
Oh, really?
Pats. Yeah.
Yeah, good
Robert
on him.
Pattinson. So if you're ever getting stalked by somebody, just go out to dinner with them and they'll fucking leave you alone when you complain about life.
Yeah, just be an absolute pest. Speaking of pests, welcome back to Two's Company, Three's a Podcast, also known as 2C3pod, a weekly show where we talk about movies and games and podcasting stuff all year round.
Yes, all year round, 52 weeks a year, twice a week, 4 episodes on new video. There's just too much content.
There's so much. Mitch is having a stroke. My name is Dylan, as always, is my co-host,
Mitchell.
Yes,
and we are 2C3pod, and we're here for our Wednesday episode.
Absolutely.
Which we are changing up a teeny bit.
Yeah.
This week, we're going to hit you with the freshest news from the gaming, TV, and film world. Yes, I forgot the other one then. Yes, gaming, TV, and film world. And then we're coming at you with our fresh review. Our DTCR does the cinema.
Absolutely. Now, we did make a promise last week to our viewers and listeners that we'll see a particular film, but unfortunately, that kind of got... what's the word? Prioritized out by a preview screening of another film.
It's not because of the lack of appreciation for it, because we do still plan on seeing that film this week
weekend.
For DTC. But yeah, we got the opportunity to see a preview screening for a film that comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we've got a review for something that isn't out in theaters yet.
Finally.
So we're just very excited about that. So we've bumped it forward and we'll see how the structure goes, and maybe we'll stick with this format from now on.
Yeah, but absolutely. We're ripping right into it, just like...
Extra.
Read all about it!
It's time for the news.
Where are we going? Trailer park?
No, that'll be Friday.
Yeah. Anyway, first bit of news is an interesting one because we've been... You okay?
I don't think my mouse is working.
Oh, well.
I can't find it.
Is it even... Don't worry about it. Anyway.
It is plugged in.
You said you were better with a touchpad anyway.
Yeah, I'm better at touching pads. Wait, what?
Quality content right there, ladies and gentlemen.
right.
Anyway, back into the news and such. Now, Tim
like
Miller...
that bitch?
Yeah, Tim Miller, the writer and director, or one of the writers and main director of Terminator Dark Fate. Now, we've banged on about this movie for a while now, and just to reestablish, yes, this movie is boring as fuck.
It's terrible.
Anyway, Tim Miller in an interview has recently come out and said that he doesn't want to ever work with James Cameron again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the interesting story behind that apparently is because obviously two titans when it comes to story writing and film, James Cameron being obviously the titan in terms of like film and cinema writing. there was just too many creative differences. According to Miller in the interview, James Cameron, well, actually, Tim Miller, in the end, spoiler alert, wanted Legion, which is the new Skynet, to win.
That would have saved the film.
Yeah.
Like, that would have saved the film.
Yeah.
Because I believe in our review when we did DTC, I even said we knew where it was going.
Yep.
We knew where they were, like, we knew that it was, like, the hero was going to win and Terminator was never going to win and Legion was going to crumble.
Yeah.
And it did. And it was just very predictable and the exact same story we've seen before.
And apparently the reason is because James Cameron turned around as executive producer and knew, once again,
creator.
now... Yeah, well, no, he is the creator of the Terminator franchise, but now he re-owns the rights, apparently.
Oh, okay.
He turned around and said, no, I do want this to follow more in line with Terminator 2. And obviously that movie had successes for its own reasons. I'm not going to go on that again. Yeah. I'm just not sure, though, whether this Tim Miller saying what he said comes out of the fact that the movie has bombed and he's trying to defend his own creative juices. Whether the same things would be said if the movie did succeed, or they'd be going on about, oh, well, you know, we worked together really well, blah, 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 considering there were clashes. But
it seems like it could be a case of, yes, it bombed, and James Cameron, as this being one of his babies, probably was like, you fucking ruined my films.
He's trying to push the blame on
and then Tim Miller's like, nah, bruh, I wanted that. Remember that one time I said that when you weren't in the room thing?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It could just be trying to save face.
Yeah.
Either way, they're both pioneers in their field.
Yeah.
I mean, do we really need to be squabbling about this?
I don't think so either.
Y'all both fucked up.
Yeah,
just
that's right.
drop it on the chin, okay? Simple as that.
Regardless of who said what during the writing production, fair enough, you may have clashed like everybody does when it comes to writing these things, and creative differences happens with all means of creativity. On this level, of course, you know, like this movie was, even they have said that, you know, this film may have been better... what's the word? The reception would have been better if this came out in place of Terminator 3 back in 2000 and whatever year that movie came out.
Yeah.
But the reason being is because it is Terminator 3. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's because this has been done to death, and they knew that. This story has been done like 3 or 4 times. Whatever.
And it's not like with something like Terminator and Terminator 2 that has become such a pop cultural phenomenon. It's not like you can just, when was T2? Like mid-90s, 92?
Yeah, 90.
I think it was 92.
92, 96, 90. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, whenever it was, yes, it's been 20 plus years. People still remember that.
Yeah.
It was that like phenomenal that you can't just go and do the exact same fucking thing and expect a new generation to go, whoa, this movie's amazing, give it all the Oscars. Like, because everyone's seen it. Everyone knows the story. Regardless
of whether those sequels were in between it or not, it's the same thing. Yeah. Your movie's bound to fail if you just do the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, yes, other franchises succeed from doing that, but the movies get worse and worse every time.
That's exactly right. So Tim Miller, James Cameron, shut the fuck up and go back to doing what you do good.
Get back to work.
Which isn't Terminator. Leave it alone.
Give it, as I said in my review and whatnot, give it to Jason Blum.
Yeah.
Turn it back into a horror franchise, and then I'll be on board.
And James Cameron, get your dirty mitts off it. I don't care if you own it again, just leave it.
Yeah. Speaking of horror franchises, I wanted to move on to something else a little quickly since we had the perfect segue. Speaking of big pumpkins.
Big Perfect.
Have you seen Pumpkinhead?
I have not.
Neither have I.
No.
And this is a film that's been on my radar since I was born.
Yeah.
This Pumpkinhead is a very interesting 1988 Stan Winston directed film. Obviously, Stan Winston, the famous like puppet creator, he's obviously responsible for the redesign of Predator and the original Terminator and a whole bunch of other prosthetic live action sort of puppeteering in film and TV over the last few decades. Obviously, rest in peace. He's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But Pumpkinhead, one of his like prime successes in terms of actual puppeteering and costumes, it's set to have a reboot, not re-release, a reboot, essentially.
Now, we obviously can't talk about this too long because, like you said, neither of us have seen it. But, I mean, hey, I'm all about that.
Yeah, it makes me want to... I mean, not that this makes me want to see the movie even more, because I do want to see it. I just need to sit down and remember, hold on a minute, I need to watch this movie and do it one day.
That's right. But I just like the fact that, yes, I know it's a remake, but it's a fresh remake.
Yeah.
It's not the 18th remake of something, you know? It's not the 4th, you know? It's not a sequel. It's a remake of something that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, and like people like us who haven't seen it at all.
No,
you know?
exactly. That's right.
According to the website Bloody Disgusting,
Yep.
you know, is where I get a lot of like horror
Yes.
news from. I love that website.
Big
As you
time.
may recall, it was reported back in 2016 that Saw producer Peter Block was behind the remake of the Stan Winston directed movie, blah, 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 blah. Looks like he's back in terms of making this movie again. I think it doesn't say much about him, but
I
it
believe
does
it
say...
just said that they were committing to a 4-film series, or it was based off the first in. No, sorry, it's
based off
4.
the first. Yeah, so the original
Yeah.
one came out in theaters, was a massive success. The other ones were kind of like Hellraiser. They all
Yes.
came direct to DVD and sucked balls.
Of course.
So in this case, we have some exciting news. I'm not allowed to share yet, but you know we should be making its way out soon, which means it may be very early production.
Yeah, big time.
But give me creature features.
The
Give
wheels
me-
are in motion.
Yeah, live action.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any fucking CGI
No,
in this.
no.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether to say give it enough of a budget to afford the practical effects, or give it not enough of a budget to not be able to afford the CGI.
I want to give a CGI budget to Stan Winston's company, who still actively works today, and you
Yeah.
can't write a love letter movie to a Stan Winston creation without getting the help of Stan Winston Studios.
If they're not included, that's just massive slap in the face.
Oh yeah, it's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah. It's
It'll-
almost like somebody making a Terminator film and not inviting James Cameron to ruin it. You
Yeah,
know?
right.
Like, I mean, God, come on, buddy, come and fuck it up. Yeah.
But according to the article and the people who are involved, it says sometimes I loathe remakes and reboots because I don't see the reason for them. But Pumpkinhead is one of those where I believe the story and the themes of it are so good. But there's also a way of updating it where less focus on the creature in the beginning will add lots to the suspense. Well, coming from a guy who said, I don't like reboots and remakes, but we've heard that 100 times before with like RoboCop
Exactly.
and Terminator and a whole bunch of other remakes and reboots. Let's see if this will get the love it deserves.
Yeah, I'm really hoping it does, because it's nice to see a new property getting new life. So,
Yeah.
an old property. You know what I mean.
Yeah, like I want to see this come back. I want to see it on the big screen. There's so
Yes.
many like 80s movies.
Yes.
Like I went to, before Alien Covenant, I went to see like a special preview, but a special screening of Alien 2 in
wow.
the cinema.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch it in the cinema and think, wow, this does look old as fuck, but it was so good.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
if RoboCop 1 comes back to cinemas for one day only, I'll call in sick and I will be there just to experience it on the big screen.
But as far as I'm concerned with this property, we better get it to our local theaters, because if they can
Yeah.
put Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark on fucking 8 times a day, God, this better make it.
Yeah.
At least one screening.
Well, this adds to the list of 80s horror icon remakes
Yes.
making their way back into circulation. So
Yes.
now we've got Pinhead,
See-
or Hellraiser. We've got, Pumpkinhead. Is there talks of Freddy Krueger?
I haven't heard any, and I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It's floated
as
in
much
and out.
as much as the remake, the Platinum Dunes production was
Yeah.
okay. I want to forget that existed and just love my Freddy.
Yeah.
And I don't want somebody to come along and go, I can do it better, and then just
Yeah.
fucking ruin it.
David S. Goya, back away. Listen, I know you're doing
You've
Pinhead.
done enough.
I know you're doing Hellraiser,
Yeah.
and that'll
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's
We'll see
right.
how that
That'll be
goes
the
first.
tester, because
Yes.
that move, even if that movie bombs, it'll just be added to the pile of other Hellraiser movies that suck.
Exactly, that's
so-
right. Even though they're trying to bring it a new life and give it a big stage feel, it would just be like, oh yeah, cool. That's like the last one. Shit. Yeah.
Did you see like the Hellraiser Origins short film? It was like a fake trailer to it's so it's on YouTube. You can look at it now. It's called Hellraiser Origins. Anybody who's a fan of that franchise, look it up. It's like it teased a trailer, but it was completely fake. It was never going to be turned into a massive movie. I think they used that to try and convince Hollywood to recreate Hellraiser in this image, but it looked really fucking good, and it was high budget for a private short film.
Wow. Okay.
So Hellraiser Origins, I think it was called. So definitely
Hellraiser Origins trailer.
Yeah.
It was 6 years ago.
Yeah, so it's been out for a while now,
Yeah.
but it was really fucking cool, and nothing
then-
ever came from it.
The description to it is this real? Because people were like, what?
Well, yeah, like, if they made a film that looks and feels like that, I'd be all for it.
Yeah.
Because it makes Pinhead look different, and if they did what Clive Barker originally intended for Pinhead from The Hellbound Heart, Pinhead would sound like a little girl.
Yeah, I know.
So
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would be so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of big dicks.
Yeah.
You have here briefly Call of Duty Mobile.
Yep.
They've brought out Season 2.
That's what they're claiming it to be.
Okay, but basically, zombies.
Yes.
Zombies are in the game now.
Yeah, so I played a bit of the Call of Duty Zombies right before recording tonight. It's great. It's everything you'd expect from zombies. You know, you've got windows to board up. You could just go for hordes and hordes and hordes. You can unlock new areas. You've got your abilities to unlock.
Yeah, see, considering how well that game worked, I'm not surprised at all that they were like, hey, let's chuck our favorite feature in there. Like, I mean, why the fuck not? The game's running so smoothly.
Oh, man.
Most downloaded game of all time. Like, yeah. I mean, fuck. Yeah, why not? Chuck zombies in. Everyone loves it.
The fact that it's free and it works just as well as like the previous COD games. Obviously, Modern Warfare reboot, remake, whatever, is a different kettle of fish because that's like a revamp of the entire thing.
Exactly.
It plays better and like is a bit more enjoyable than a lot of the previous COD like entries. I mean, it does borrow a lot of the same elements as the previous franchises, which is fine, but I'm not sure if many people know this, but it seems to become a bit more popular now because of Call of Duty Mobile. But through your Xbox One and PS4 controllers, you connect...
Don't tell them.
The secret. You connect it to your phone via Bluetooth. You don't need any kind of like special connector or anything, and it runs just as good.
That's crazy.
And you can play mobile games like first-person shooters and all that. I know, like Fortnite and PUBG.
You'd even be able to do it on a tablet, so you have a bigger screen.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what it's kind of for, because people play a lot of mobile games, and there's a lot of bigger publishers trying to breach into that market, and they're just not quite that good. But now with the support of controllers, you can take it with you, and it works really fucking well.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely keen to give it a go with the controller because I mean, I did pretty well with the Call of Duty mobile game with my hands, like on the screen.
Yeah,
like,
right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, shit, if I can chuck the controller in there and compete against noobs with the touching the screen, fuck yeah.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
Domination.
Yeah. But what I want to know is how you feel about playing Fortnite on there, because you can get Fortnite on your phone and it is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But, you know, being able to play with the controller should have a similar feel to what you do on the PS4.
It definitely would, and I'm not that good on the PS4 to begin with, but, I mean, hey, it'll probably kill time at work. I mean, you know, I may get a chance to one night this week. No.
Have you played Death Stranding yet?
No, I didn't end up going Christmas shopping this week.
I'm going to keep asking you until you do.
No, that's fine. It will come, I promise you.
Yeah.
Yes. But speaking of big dicks, Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
You chucked here in the notes that he's getting the chance to adapt his own comic book character story.
Yeah.
After years of trying to get Gambit off the ground, I believe an X-Men character you told me off it. Yes. Which it eventually was shelved. So the Max is an entirely different beast.
Yeah, so the Max is another comic book character of some kind. I don't believe he's from any like X-Men, Marvel, DC kind of thing. You're completely separate to that. But obviously Channing Tatum is a fan of comic book movies. You know, he's been trying to be like Gambit, which is, you know, like opposite, you know, Wolverine.
I keep picturing Gimli. I just keep picturing Gimli, and I'm like, how are you going to pull that off, Tatum?
Yeah. Well, my understanding of Gambit, the character of Gambit, and I'm going to butcher this for all Gambit fans and the MCU, sorry.
You know, there's like, two of you out there.
Yeah. So he's a mutant, obviously, because of the X-Men, but he's really good at gambling and things like that. Gambit, the demon.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, he plays with cards and all that sort of shit. Anyway, apparently quite a popular character.
Okay.
But, you know, obviously that's been shelved. The Disney merger has kind of killed off it wasn't the Disney merger. Like, X-Men movies killed themselves.
Yeah.
They tied the noose around their own
neck. They've been doing well. Yeah.
Shout out. We know you're listening. So I have no idea what the Max is, but the beauty of cinema and superhero comics being adapted to cinema means people like me who don't have a fucking clue who the Max is, get an idea of who the Max is.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that I could totally see Netflix buying.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they're doing it with Octavia Spencer and fucking Melissa McCarthy, a random superhero movie.
Thunder
I mean,
Thighs or whatever it was called.
Yes.
What was it called?
Definitely what it was called. Anyway, so I could see Netflix purchasing this because, hey, Channing Tatum's a draw. They've got the budgets to be able to make this into a serviceable film.
Yep.
And that's a pretty big draw, man. I would literally, you know, go out of my way to watch this on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, let's have a quick Google of who the Max is.
I just did that. The Max is an American comic book series created by Sam Keith in 1993 and originally published by Image Comics. So it looks like it's... wait. then collected in trade paperback by DC Comics Wildstorm imprint.
Welcome to 2c3pod, where we Google stuff during the show.
Comic books. Yeah. Okay. Well, the Max looks like a pretty fucking intense character.
Yeah. Going by the artwork, it looks like it probably will have some kind of dark comedy vibe to it, but also quite violent. So I have a feeling it's going to try and adapt to similar. No, I wouldn't say Deadpool. I'm not going to say.
I'm getting Buff Venom vibes.
Yeah.
Scroll down further and look at the DVD cover.
All right.
Yeah, so conversation. I'm getting like Buff Venom vibes.
Yeah, so it'll be because he looks like he's got these sort of claws on his hands. I don't really know what's going on there, but I have a feeling there may be some violence to it. But how Channing Tatum's going to fit into something like this, whether he'll buffen up or it'll be completely CGI, I have no idea because I don't know how this character works.
Yeah, I reckon he's probably like 2 gym sessions away from that.
Probably. Yeah.
He's a pretty fit dude, as we like to say.
What was the last thing you remember seeing Channing Tatum in?
22 Jump Street.
Yeah, and how long ago was that?
22 years. No, that was 2014?
Yeah,
15? It's been a while.
Years. Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
Well, obviously, there was a few years where he was the hottest thing to come to Hollywood. He had Magic Mike 1 and 2.
Ooh, he was.
He was in Jupiter Ascending somehow, which apparently bombed and sucked balls. Yes. Haven't seen it. He made a relatively small role in The Hateful Eight, which I thought was quite good and a bit out of the character for him, but I appreciated that. And obviously the 21 Jump Street reboots, but haven't seen him since.
No, I'm not sure what he's up to, honestly. I think he's probably just fucking Jessie J.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd occupy a lot of my time too. Just saying.
Yeah.
But no.
And trying to get comic book adaptations off the ground.
But as we said with Pumpkinhead, I'm keen to see an original adaptation of something.
Yeah.
So something we haven't seen to death. So I'm all about this. Channing, you keep doing you keep doing Jesse.
You said Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we spoke about with Pumpkinhead, I'm keen to see.
Right, okay.
There we go. Yeah. Go back and listen. God. Yeah, but anyway, so speaking of big dicks again.
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong.
Yep. So that was
having a big swinging ones there.
Absolutely, especially Kong.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Woo.
Yeah. That's the battle I want to see.
Actually.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, the release date has been pushed forward to earlier 2020.
Now, apparently there was a release date for 2020 originally for this movie, but after Godzilla 2 King of Monsters, whatever it was called, didn't do too well. Warner Brothers, I believe, are the ones who were publishing this, pushed it back a bit, but they've brought it forward because apparently they're confident.
Or it's probably still on schedule.
Yeah.
It's in they're at the stage of production that they want to, and
Warner Brothers. Fine. There we go. Yeah. So obviously the Godzilla reboot was okay, and then they had Kong Skull Island, which some people did, some people didn't. I personally didn't really like it.
Well, it wasn't for me.
Yeah. But Godzilla versus Kong, if this film came out on its own without any Godzilla reboots or Kong reboots, I would have been more keen for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. If this was like out of nowhere, just being like, nobody's seen Godzilla since Matthew Broderick, Yeah. Like imagine that. And Peter Jackson didn't touch Kong. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Godzilla vs. Kong, you're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Absolutely.
That's a thing? Like, that would be amazing. So yeah, I understand that. This is one that when it comes around to it, I'm definitely going to go and see it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I completely see what you mean. I'd be counting down the days almost if it was like, oh my God, this is next year.
Yeah, but absolutely.
Unfortunately, this is just a movie for next year.
Yeah. But the thing that's really interested me is that this is being like distributed and produced by Warner Brothers, who have been impressing the hell out of me lately.
Yeah.
So they've had a lot of the horrors and some of the the superhero things and Joker that we've talked about a lot. So I feel that even if they do have a few flops here and there, they're still confident to go fucking full hog. With even movies that may not be the biggest things to come to cinema, they're still confident in their films and their filmmakers. So
absolutely, and they've got a reason to be.
I got to appreciate that.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere, and they're definitely going to keep taking chances and throwing money at things until something sticks. And
something has sticked recently. So I think they're they've built their confidence back up, which is good.
Absolutely.
So, cool.
No, so. Yeah, what was next on the list? I was looking at Godzilla vs. Kong release dates. So,
is it there?
Is it there?
Yeah, release dates.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said you were looking at them.
Yeah, I was. I've lost it. No. Yes. No. Maybe.
All I know is that it's coming out 2020. Apparently,
Yeah.
it was pushed forward, and now it's pushed back to 2020. I don't know the exact dates though, even if they're even out yet.
Yeah, no, it was all it's got here is 20th of November, but that's clearly
Oh, okay.
I'd say it would be adjusted
Right.
and come back.
Forward. We'll find out.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um,
Man, this is seamless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the things I wanted to bring up earlier when we were talking about Pumpkinhead, and I did bring up Death Stranding very briefly
Yes.
with you. Hideo Kojima, the creator of the Metal Gear Solid series and Death Stranding, of course, and PT.
Yep, personal trainer
Yes, personal trainer for
the Wii Fit.
Absolutely. Completely lost my train of thought.
Is gearing up to.
Make the scariest horror game. Now,
So that's what his next mindset is.
yes, apparently
He's like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Now, the thing that really intrigues me about this is because that PT that I mentioned before, everybody else will know about this except for maybe you. Have you heard about it?
Personal training. I told you. Wii Fit. I get it.
It was a relatively short, linear horror game which was only released for the PS4 as like a teaser, which has been taken down. You can only play it on PlayStation 4 platforms which haven't deleted it from their hard drives.
Oh, okay.
It was Hideo Kojima, while he was still working for Konami, was making a Silent Hill game.
Okay.
And that's where Norman Reedus came in, because at the very end, your character walks off after completing the one level that it had, where you literally walk through a corridor, and it turns around, it's Norman Reedus, and everyone's going, oh, fuck, all right. So, but it was Silent Hills. But PT was playable teaser or playable... I believe it was playable teaser.
Oh, okay, right.
To
so
this,
it was close.
Yeah, so it's a few years old now, but people are still digging up secrets about this game. You'd find it very intriguing if you looked it up, but it was by Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro. That's why it was so fucking good.
And that leads into the connection with Death Stranding with Guillermo and Norman Reedus.
Yeah, obviously Death Stranding isn't...
It's not that game.
Well, it's not a horror game, essentially. It's more of a delivery game, fucking walking simulator, apparently. But... obviously, everybody was me like as well was really keen for a Silent Hill sequel, essentially, especially by someone who's as creative as Hideo Kojima. Obviously, got shifted, and everyone was kind of like, "Well, what do we do next?" Death Stranding's been and gone, and he's ramping up to make a scariest horror game.
So he set his eyes on the next project being, I'm going to make a game that will make you piss yourself.
Yeah, well, as I said, like this PT thing scared the living daylights out of thousands of people around the world.
Even though it was just one level of nothing.
But being a teaser, like people are considering it like best like horror game of that year.
Wow.
Of like whatever year it came out.
That's crazy.
So to have an entire game, I don't think it'll be Silent Hills because that's Konami owned. It no longer works for him.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever, get over yourselves.
Let him do his own thing.
Yeah, let him do his own thing, and I'm keen for that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of gaming big dicks.
Yeah.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Absolutely. The big dick in the gaming world, yes, for the last 30 years.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's right. And 30, 40 years later, it is still kicking ass.
Absolutely.
Because Sword and Shield have come out and gone.
Yep.
Well, they're still around, but they have come out and they broke all of Nintendo's release records. Sorry. Nintendo had sold 6 billion units worldwide during during the Pokemon Sword and Shield's launch weekend.
Yeah.
Weekend.
So all I really know about that is that it's the fastest selling Nintendo Switch game.
That's it. Thank you. Fastest selling Switch game. Yes.
Which it doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, like maybe I'm just living on the different side of the fence, but like I don't have a Nintendo Wii, and there's only maybe like a fucking small handful of games on the Nintendo Wii that I would want to play, but it doesn't warrant enough for me to go out and spend $500-$600 on a Wii console and the games to accompany it.
Absolutely.
It's because there's just not enough for someone like myself. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of different games on there, like Brain Training and other things, a bit more family friendly, just like Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I've never been a huge fan of the Pokemon games, but I completely understand. Yeah, I know, right? Fuck me, right?
Yeah. Breaking Bad now, this.
Yeah. But I do understand why this crushed it.
Big time.
Because it's fucking Pokemon.
But it's nice to see that even... See, I haven't paid attention to the Pokemon series and generation since maybe Gen 4, 5, because that's when I was getting into my teen years and growing up a little bit. And I still love those old games: Red, Blue, Yellow, Silver, Gold.
I think I've mentioned it on the podcast a few times before that I only started playing, like, I think it was Pokemon Silver, like 3 years ago on my Game Boy Color while I was at work when I was still in that department, and I enjoyed it. I got to a point where I was kind of lost. I was like, where do I go from here? Because those older games are designed,
baby.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I didn't want to. Throughout the entire playthrough of that game, I didn't use the internet once because I was like, okay, older games, they're designed to be hard to make you feel like you're playing this forever.
You got to figure it out yourself, and I had to do that as a young boy, so I'm glad you stuck to tradition.
As we all did, and I haven't played it since because I'm stuck.
But as I was saying, though, I haven't paid attention to the generation since Gen 4 or 5 or something like that, but it's nice to see that even with these new generations, that God, they must be up to like 1,500 Pokemon now or something ridiculous. Probably Gen 24, but either way, it's nice to see that it's translated to the next generation. It's still a big focal point because I would attribute the numbers being to, yes, it's got its older audience that have been around since day dot.
Pokemon fans of like the 80s and 90s.
But also I feel like it's transferred to the young kids, and it's still growing through the next generations, which is exciting for me. And I'm glad that it broke its record because Pokemon's Nintendo's staple.
Oh, absolutely.
Like always has been. It's its meal ticket. So it's good to see that it's still number one.
Yeah. And like the thing with that as well, in terms of like Pokemon, I'm not really sure if they ever really needed to make new Pokemon. I think like if they just, updated all of the original
locations and stuff.
No, not necessarily locations, but the characters, the Pokemon themselves. Kids these days would still look at Pikachu for the first time and go, "Holy shit! Like this is amazing."
Yeah,
like, I don't think, as I said, I'm an outsider in this franchise, but I don't think that any new Pokemon are really drawing in any new fans. It'll be the older fans going, "Oh, this new one is interesting," or "I don't like it."
No, I think it is. I think it's new fans, but it's new young fans. I understand that the young people would see those first gen or first couple gen Pokemon and go, "Wow, this is amazing. Pokemon's amazing." But at the same time, you do need to appeal to the fans who have been around and bought every game.
Oh yeah,
you need to get those updated. But at the same time, I'm not sure if they have. So correct me if I'm wrong. Write in the comments below or send us a message. The last time I remember them doing like a refresh of the original two was Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying maybe it's time to bring out for the Switch Red and Blue again.
Brand
new updated Red and Blue, exact same game, just with nice graphics, same style as these ones, nice new fresh. But bring out the old ones, just 151 Pokemon. That's it.
Nintendo have been doing that with their Zelda remakes. There's been like Link's Awakening and all of those really old, Zelda games from the 90s and earlier that have been completely updated, but the game's essentially exactly the same, and they're bringing them out for their modern consoles, which is amazing. I think it's really good because I'm a huge fan of modern updates, not necessarily remakes, but updates of those old school games. So I think this is really cool. Anybody out there who's interested in Pokemon, like obviously you're probably already on this.
Shout out Tom at work. I know you've been playing hard.
Yeah.
Yes. But one more bit of gaming news we want to touch on quickly.
Absolutely.
This is your category now?
Yes. So it's been in the rumor mill once again this week all over the internet. I don't know why this point in time it's come back in the limelight, but Resident Evil 3 Nemesis came out many years ago. It introduced the character of Nemesis, which in Resident Evil, anybody who's familiar with the games and movies, is the big, tall, leather-clad, kind of Hellraiser-ish kind of looking character with like carries a minigun and a rocket launcher. And if you've seen the movies.
Yeah, but like once.
Oh, right. Okay. So anyway, he's probably one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic Resident Evil villains of all time.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 Remake came out earlier 2019, depending on when you're listening and watching, but this year essentially, and it fucking blew audiences, and including myself, absolutely away.
All right.
One of, if not the best sort of remakes of an older game that's ever existed. That didn't change too many things because the main villain just haunted you the whole time, and it was horrifying. After the success of that, the internet was like, well, because this was so good, and they teased it at the very end, we got to be getting Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Okay.
for whatever reason, rumor mill's come back around and said, oh, it's actually happening. It's not confirmed yet.
Yes, of course.
But people are talking about it.
Rumor and innuendo.
Yeah, so I would assume Capcom would look at this and go, well, we're already halfway through. We just haven't told anybody.
Yeah. They're probably like, you bastards, come on.
Shut the fuck up. You're ruining this, please.
Yeah.
So, as I said, the fans have been asking for this ever since the release of Resident Evil 2, and I'm all on board as well. If you haven't played the originals, they still hold up. Yes, they are hard. Yeah. As we said, older games are designed to last forever.
Exactly.
So, these newer ones with different difficulty settings.
And if you bought a walkthrough guide as a kid, you're cheating.
Absolutely.
God.
Do you remember the cheat books?
Yeah.
You would buy a literal cheat book.
I know.
Yeah.
No, none of that. I got the fan, not a guide, but it was like, hey, this is where you go to next. This is where you go to next. But it wasn't like, do this, you're done.
Yeah, they still make those.
No, exactly. I know.
They're great.
It's exciting. But no, that's good that another franchise is possibly getting a nice remaster. So that's tasty.
For any fans of horror in general, whether it's movies, games, whatever, I think you should, if you can, at least try Resident Evil 2 Remake once.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like yourself who, if the audience knows, yes, you knew I was going to bring this up.
Of course.
You only play Fortnite. You're not much of a gamer in the sense that you haven't played too many modern games, essentially.
100%. Guilty.
That's perfectly fine, but I think you should at least have a crack.
Dude, like we said, we're going to eventually make the YouTube series of you saying, all right, this week you're playing this, and then film the hilarity of me going, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
How do I build?
Yeah. How do I build? No, so
that's exciting. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it is for me anyway.
I've got one more exciting bit of news and I'm going to tack into it, okay? Yep. After 6 long years, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Walker's back, baby.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Paul Walker is back.
Paul Walker, legendary character and person in the Fast and Furious franchise up until number 8, 7, I don't know.
7, because that was the one James Wan, my boy, was attached to, but he, stupidly died in a car accident.
Yep.
Midway through filming.
So ironic. I mean, rest in peace. Obviously, people loved him, but at the same time,
it's been 6 years. We can start making jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, surely, can we? I don't know. But, I just said, hey, gear up because, hey, after 6 years, he's back. Yes, that's right. We have reanimated the dead.
Yes, literally.
So, apparently there are plans to, in Fast and Furious 9, bring back the character. And his character, Brian O'Connor.
Yep.
Yeah. And people aren't happy about this.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think Paul Walker is either.
I don't think he would be very happy.
No, but he does have 2 brothers that are retardedly identical to him.
Yeah.
Cody and somebody else.
They used him as a double essentially for Paul Walker's character at the end of the last one that he was in.
Just purely for the drive scenes and that, so they could just piece it all together nicely and that, and you couldn't even tell.
With the capabilities of de-aging technology essentially and making somebody looks like somebody else, with modern CGI, they could pull this off without a hitch. It may look a bit ugly in some parts, but the problem is the fact that they're recreating a dead man with his family. Yes, fair enough. They may go, "Oh, it's to pay tribute and respect." No, you're abusing the legacy.
You're trying to capitalize on somebody who's gone.
Yeah.
They are gone. Okay, finish Fast and Furious 7, that's fine, because that's relevant for the time. He was midway through it, almost done, just a couple little bits to tie together.
Fine.
That's it. But then to bring that character back as potentially a main focal point of the entire film, no.
That's rubbish.
If you're going to bring back that character, do not try and make it look like Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Chuck his brother in there who already looks like him enough. Just bring him in and say, hey, this is Brian.
Yep.
Done.
Yeah.
Do that. And everyone would be like, oh, I miss Paul Walker. But you're not trying to recreate a dead guy.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
If your franchise can't survive without its lead actor being coming back, kill it.
Do you know why this is happening, in my opinion?
Why is that?
Because The Rock's busy with Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
He's not in them anymore.
They don't have the
This
star
is Vin
power.
Diesel now. Oh, sorry, buddy. You can't carry this anymore.
Yeah.
So let's bring back the dead guy.
Yeah.
Okay? As far as I'm concerned, leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah.
All right? You're at number 9 of this film series.
Yes.
If this one is the last one, then it's done.
Yes.
Okay? You've done 9.
Yeah.
And spin-offs now. So if that's the case and you can't survive without Paul Walker, bringing him back from the dead, just end it.
Yes.
Okay? Finish this movie. Leave Brian O'Connor out of it. Just fucking end it.
Yeah.
Okay?
If you want to make
9
spin-offs,
is a good run.
If they want to make
as
like
the Beatles.
Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw and fucking Vin Diesel doing something else and Michelle Rodriguez doing something else over here, I've got no problem with that. Like, you can milk this franchise for as much as you want. Just, that's fucked.
No, exactly. That's right. But as I just said, the Beatles, 9 albums. Seinfeld, 9 series. Drew Carey Show, 9 series.
9 films.
So Star Wars is about to be 9 films.
Yeah.
And then Everybody Loves Raymond, 9 series, okay? You've done 9. Good job. End it.
End it.
All right?
End
Fuck
it.
double digits. Fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
That's just silly. I don't care about these movies, but that just seems a bit rude.
It's disrespectful to the man himself.
And honestly, I mean, who's going to sit there and everybody's just going to be staring at that going, nah, it's fake.
Like we did with Gemini Man, we're all going to be like, yeah.
That's
like
right. Yeah.
Even
I can see where they did that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not fooling anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
I wonder if that's Cody or the other one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, it's silly. But anyway.
Yeah.
But hey, Paul Walker's back, baby.
And I think I've talked about this once before, but I'll only bring it up very briefly, is that Paul Walker was supposed to play Agent 47 in the most recent Hitman game.
Yes, you did mention that.
Yeah, and I just want to bring it up now, like, since he's back in the limelight of talk, like, if there's anything, like, I know what happened to him was tragic, but so was that fucking movie.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I was like, I swear, like, you said that exact thing in, like, episode 6 or 7 of the podcast.
It was a while ago, yeah.
But no, yes, Paul Walker, you luckily dodged a bullet.
Yeah, you hit a
well
pole.
done. You missed out on that movie role.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what else we got? Is there everything for the news this week? Is there anything else
I think
of
that's
interest?
it. And I think it's time to... Is there? Sorry?
No,
Just
that's
cutting
it.
you off.
Yeah,
cool.
that's it. Yeah,
all right,
cool.
Then I think it's time for... Are we hitting the beats anymore?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
No, we can't.
Do you want to hit the beat for me? Palms are sweaty, knees weak. Had to. Anyway,
put me off.
ladies and gentlemen, coming from afresh, coming from afar, it's time for
DCT.
2c3pod DTCR.
Yes.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is 2c3pod Does the Cinema.
Yep.
Our weekly ventures to the cinemas this week brought us to a preview screening of a film coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
That's tomorrow if you're listening on release day, Wednesday the 20... Dylan, help me.
27th?
27th. Today's Wednesday the 27th?
No, yes.
Yeah.
So the 28th will be the release date.
So Thursday the 28th of November, just to confirm that. Yes.
Yes.
So Thursday the 28th of November will be release date for this film.
Yep.
And we have already seen it. And
Yes.
I am very excited about it. And I am excited about the fact that we get to talk about it before it comes out.
Oh my God.
Instead of a week after it's
did it
already
again.
coming out. Yeah, I know. First time in a while.
Yeah, I
Naughty
know.
boy.
Alrighty, we
Yes.
saw a film written and directed by Ryan Johnson, who's famous for Looper and making a horrible Star Wars movie.
Yes.
I don't necessarily
that.
blame him wholeheartedly now seeing another Ryan Johnson film called Knives Out.
That's right. Knives Out, the murder mystery comedy thriller starring a ridiculously stacked, talented cast.
Absolutely.
Just to name a few: Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Toni Collette, Jamie Lee Curtis. Carry on.
Christopher Plummer, Catherine Langford, Don Johnson, and the main character, essentially, Ana de Armas.
Yeah, yeah.
Unsure how to pronounce that. However, she must be
Ana
fairly
de Armas.
Yeah.
Ana de Armas. So I'm just going to call her Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, essentially the plot revolves around a family coming together for the father's, so Christopher Plummer's character's 85th birthday. At the very end of the birthday, spoiler alert, he dies. Shock and awe. It turns into a murder mystery comedy.
It turns into a whodunit.
Yes.
It turns into a whodunit in the best way. Yeah. And so that's the basic plot thing. And we are going to avoid spoilers in this, yes?
I'm going to try my best.
Okay, good. Because I'd very much like to, because I feel like this is a film worthy of everybody's attention.
Yep.
And when you go to see it, I want you guys to enjoy the twists and the turns as they come, because they do come.
Yes.
They do come thick and fast.
Yeah.
My straight off the bat, so we've roughly summed up the plot, but straight off the bat, the thing that took me most off guard by this film was about 45 minutes in, you find out what happened. And you're like, I'm sorry, I literally checked my watch and went, what? There's like over an hour to go. What?
See, that's it. I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't sure how I was going to say this because I didn't write anything down for this review, essentially. I had the same feeling that they revealed a massive plot point, essentially. Yeah. Like, as you said, about 40, 45 minutes in. Yeah. And the remainder, there was a middle chunk of the film where they kind of work out how they're going to get around this particular situation.
That's right.
it all makes sense and it wraps up towards the end.
Yes, perfectly.
But I feel that it took me off guard is that I expected this entire movie to be whodunit.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly what I was, and the way it was gearing up as well, with Daniel Craig and the other two police officers, like, interrogating and investigating.
Yeah.
I thought that it was going to be gearing up and everybody has these reasons as to why they could have done it kind of thing. And then just out of nowhere, you find out and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. How are they going to stretch this out and make it good?
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to keep this entertaining? How are they going to keep us guessing? Because we just got told what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so it's sort of... Apologies, everybody.
Rude!
It unravels essentially like what they're going to do about the particular... Fuck off.
Oh my God. Silent.
It unravels... What was I getting at now? Yeah, so it unravels the story about like what they're going to do about this particular situation and the conundrum that the main characters are in.
Yes.
But I was expecting, as we said, this whole thing to be like a whodunit kind of situation. So that kind of killed it for me that in the end, they were all essentially trying to work out who was going to get the will. Of this massive...
Well, that was the main crux of everything as well, because there were certain elements of that birthday party that you find out throughout his investigation and poking and prodding and pulling apart all the little fine clues, is that they all really only cared about the money. Like, every character only cared about the money. And, I just got to say, man, I enjoyed this top to bottom. Yeah. I really did. Like, I know off air, you briefly mentioned it and you said that you just weren't feeling it. And like you said, it kind of took you off guard and then it went a different way than expected. It's just because
I was gearing up to see a different film. So
yes, we changed this at the last minute. So.
Yeah, I went into a murder mystery comedy expecting
a comedy horror.
Yeah, well, not expecting for this direct movie, but I was in the mood for a different movie.
Yes.
Daniel Craig, who plays...
Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc.
Oh, Blanc. That's right. It's Blanc.
He's a very highly Kentucky character of a private investigator, and it took me like an hour and a half, like pretty much the movie's length, to kind of get used to his accent.
Really?
I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank God! Because the second he finally said his first line, because you see him floating in the background a little bit. Yeah. The second he opened his mouth and started talking, I was like, he was made for this. I loved it.
I was paying so much attention to his acting and his voice the entire time to see whether he would slip up at all.
No.
Because if there's one thing I hate, it's when actors who are cast to play different... Well, not necessarily ethnicities, but different languages, different voices.
Yeah.
Like when you hear like an American try and play a Pommy accent or vice versa, or if they play an Australian accent, like nobody ever does an Australian accent like an Australian. It doesn't happen.
No.
The closest we've gotten is Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. That's the closest we've ever gotten.
Sadly, that's true. But even in our YouTube video about top 5 Australian films, I put on an Australian accent.
And it sounded terrible.
I'm like, dinky do. And I'm like, wait, why? I'm just talking normal. What the fuck? Like, yeah. But no, I completely agree with you. And as far as I could see, he was flawless.
Yeah.
He was flawless. Like, Daniel Craig, he's my MVP for this whole film.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, don't get me wrong. Everybody else on that list is amazing. And they played their characters to a T. Yeah. But Daniel Craig is Benoit Blanc.
Yeah.
He's just... Oh, it's just so good. I want to see it again.
Yeah, I definitely
do. I want to go and digest it again and see if I can pick up the little nuggets along the way.
That's why I hadn't written anything down, because I feel like if with a second watch through, I think I would appreciate this movie a lot more and realize things more than what I saw in my first run through, because this movie definitely has its twists and turns. There'll be scenes where like the characters will be speaking to each other, and then they'll have certain emotions which you think the emotions are in direct connection to the conversation, when it turns out the emotion is actually them realizing something completely like left field. Like Chris Evans. We all know he's a phenomenal actor, and he was a bit of a left field casting choice for this film. I feel like he was cast because of his popularity.
Well, it seemed that way, but
because he's so good at what he does and showing emotion in particular moments, fair enough, he comes in sort of happy-go-lucky, but things become a little more real.
My favorite...
3/4 of the way through, I think it really conveyed that really well. So the storytelling by a bloke named Ryan Johnson, obviously, like he's done a few hit and misses.
Yeah.
I feel like this is very much a craft of love and affection.
Absolutely. This is definitely one that he sat down for a while and like
planned.
And every single step, like
nook and cranny.
Fine-tooth comb. Yeah. But Chris Evans, just speaking on him quickly, I thought the same thing where in the trailer, he's a pretty heavy feature.
Yeah.
But I think it was around that 45-minute mark where you find out what happened kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's when he finally says his first line.
Yep.
Like he's very briefly seen in a couple of flashback scenes kind of thing. And then he's just not there.
Yeah.
Even probably for even the first hour or so.
And then he does become essentially like the main plot point.
Yes.
For say like the third quarter of the film.
Yeah.
But in the last quarter, in the final act, essentially, each character in the family, they all have an equal role to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
As where the movie kind of spaces it out a bit. There is one actor though. Oh, Michael Shannon, I do have to shout out to. I love Michael Shannon in just about fucking everything. But there is one actor in here who I feel could have been played by somebody else because I feel that her talent was... I feel that she could play better roles than what she was given here, and that's Toni Collette's character.
Okay, yes, I will say that, yeah.
She played a ditzy blonde, which I feel could have been done by anybody.
Yes, but at the same time, like, she really did bring something to it where, yes, she was a ditzy blonde, but she still had her little wits about her. Like, she was still working the system a little bit, and her cover-ups and that, like, as in all of them during the interrogations and that.
Yeah.
They all get found out a little bit about particular things, but then they all lie about what actually happened, kind of thing, to throw the detective off.
Yep.
And no, I think she obviously played the character well. I understand what
That's
you're
what
saying,
I mean.
that somebody else
acting
could.
was good. I just didn't really like that character as a whole, and I feel because of that, I think because of Hereditary and her acting chops in that film, I've put her on a bit of a pedestal. Of being like she's better than this character.
Yeah,
is all I'm saying. You know,
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find the actor who played the lawyer who read the will. I cannot. He's a pretty big deal.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find that. But yes, no, I believe. Yeah, I get what you mean. Toni Collette that character could have been played by anybody. But at the same time, though, I mean, I'm not going to turn down Toni Collette. And thank you for pulling that up. So we have the lawyer who reads the will and like helps them through some of this kind of stuff and all that. And it's Frank motherfucking Oz.
Frank Oz. Now, who you only ever see every few years.
No. I wanted to bring it up because this was his first on-screen film role in 20 years.
Yeah, because you've only ever heard his voice.
20 years because he's the Muppets.
Like Yoda.
Yeah, exactly. He's a big voice actor deal. Like, it's a huge deal. And Rian Johnson, I assume through his connection through Star Wars... has probably got him into this, and he probably read the script and was like, hell yeah, I'm in, because his first role in 20 years. I mean, it's not a major playing role, but at the same time,
it's good to see his face.
At the same time, like, as in, he knocked it out of the park. First time on camera on a film in 20 years, and Frank Oz, congrats, mate. It was fantastic.
The strange thing about that too is that without recognizing who he is as an actor, you wouldn't tell because he's always putting on a voice. He's like
exactly, and
a professional voice actor never uses their natural voice,
and this is him just being him.
Yeah,
and it's great.
It's
like
fantastic.
I didn't catch it until afterwards when I was like, oh, I love this film. I just wanted to do a bit more digging and was like, what? Frank Oz?
Yeah,
like it really didn't click because I just don't recognize the face. But top to bottom, this cast is flawless.
Yep.
Flawless. There wasn't a weak link. I know you said the character that Toni Collette plays, Joni. Yeah,
that's my weakest link. Just not the actor. The character is all.
In all honesty, her daughter Meg, by Catherine Langford, who's fantastic.
Yes,
I feel like her character should have had more time.
Yep.
Like Joni, I understand why that could frustrate some people. That
she seemed to
character.
be more of a friend. I wouldn't say a best friend, but a closer friend to the main actress or the main character, essentially.
Yeah, no, that's right. Marsha.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Ana de Armas, as we said, is the main focal point on the female side of things.
Yep.
Then you've got Jamie Lee Curtis and Toni Collette underneath there, but yeah, no, she's not related to the family, but she's a big part of their thing. But anyway. Overall feelings, vibes. Yeah. Man, I love this film.
Yep.
I really did. I thought there was 2 hours there and it flew by.
Yeah.
Like there was I checked my watch once and that's when the big reveal happened and I was like, what?
Where do we go from here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where are they going to take this? But I think Rian Johnson did a fantastic job. The cast top to bottom, as I said. Yep. It's fantastic. Did you have a favorite? Do we want to do favorite moments or anything?
I don't really have a favorite moment. I feel, as I said before, I feel like I'm going to have to watch this movie a second time.
Yeah, big time.
After watching it, I walked out of the cinema and I saw one of my cousins who I haven't seen in a few years. Shout out to Zach. He actually listens and watches the show. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, nice.
He had a similar feeling to me where the middle felt a little bit slowish and it kind of slowed things down a bit because that's when the reveal happened.
Yeah.
But first third of the movie, last third of the movie was really good.
Yeah.
So for me to give this a proper appreciation, I will have to watch this again.
No, that's fair.
I feel I won't get time to go to the cinemas to watch it again, but when it comes out on Blu-ray and DVD, I'll certainly be buying it, I feel.
Yeah,
so I can't think of a... The only moment that pops out to me when I think of favorite moment is the moment where they call Jaden Martell's character Jacob Thrombey, sorry.
Yes.
They call him they just keep referencing the fact that he's in the toilet, he's like a Nazi and he's masturbating.
Yeah, he's masturbating to like deer porn or something. Like,
there was a throwaway line in there that I can't quite remember, but I just remember finding it hilarious.
I actually completely forgot that he was in this film.
Yeah, he was only a very small role.
No, Jaden Martell out of chapter 1 and 2. Yeah. No, but I don't have a particular favorite moment either because there was so much going on, like you said, that honestly, I just enjoyed the ride, but there were several laugh out loud moments. Yeah. Everybody to perfection. If I'm going to give this a pretzel rating, man, I'm going to go out of 10.
Yep.
I'm going to give this a solid 8.8.
All right.
Like, I truly enjoyed every minute of this film, but like I said, MVP Daniel Craig.
Yep.
Daniel Craig. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm going to give this a rating out of 10 as well, not that I've really got a particular structure for that.
No.
Is the dog trying to get through or is that the wind?
No, that's the wind. But anyway, carry on.
I'll give it a 7.
A 7.
But as I said, it may go up in later viewings, but for now,
I feel like it will go up,
man.
I feel like it's going to go up. It was the same to me with another Rian Johnson project, Looper. I enjoyed Looper at first, but then I watched it a couple more times, really tore it apart, dissected it a bit more, and I rate that film now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So absolutely. Knives Out in theaters tomorrow, the 8th of November.
Yep, it's not December just yet, but we're very close. We're getting there.
It comes out tomorrow because this review is fresh up on YouTube on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. So, hey, if you get the chance to go out and see a funny, murderous crime thriller mystery, this is the one.
Absolutely.
This is the one. Stacked cast, talented writer, director, everything you could possibly want out of a trip to the cinema.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Push aside how you feel about The Last Jedi, because this guy... he may not have been the right choice for a Star Wars film, but he's great for these kind of mystery thriller sort of movies.
He's great for properties that he is taking from the ground up.
Yep.
So this is his property that he started with and wrote it from the ground up.
Yep.
Star Wars, obviously, he had a lot to work with. So yeah. But either way, Knives Out in theaters probably now when you're watching this, and man, go and have a good time because it is a great watch.
Absolutely. And that has been our show.
Yes.
Episode, whatever number episode this is.
You didn't catch that by the episode title?
Nope.
WD-What?
Nope. You have to explain that one too.
WD-40. Well done.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, get the duct tape. Anyway.
Yes.
Listen. Whoa, that was a big crack. We are Two's Company, Three's a Podcast. You can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are everywhere at 2c3pod, as the picture suggests.
That's right. And don't forget, you can watch or listen to us on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and
YouTube. Big Summer Blowout. Now, we have reopened our TeePublic store where you can find a t-shirt, a mug, a sticker, or a magnet, or a hoodie.
I know. The magnets is what I'm leaning towards there.
Absolutely. If you do want to support the show in a way that you do get something in return, rather than paying into a Patreon that gives you what you already get for free anyway.
Exactly.
Head over there and buy a t-shirt. It'll be with you shortly, and it's great quality. Go check them out.
Coming up to Christmas, we need that extra bit of coin as well. Thank you. But if you wanted to contact us directly in any regard, Two's Company, Three's a Podcast at gmail.com.
Absolutely. We have 2 podcasts every week, every Wednesday and every Friday. We have 4 videos on YouTube every week, whenever we can get them out. There's bloody heaps happening here.
That's right. Lots of content. Dylan, next line.
I forgot about that.
No, that's fine. Next line.
Thank you for tuning in.
We are Two's Company. Wait, no. I'm Mitchell. You're Dylan. And we are Two's Company. And you are the podcast. Fucking door! Yeah, I know. I've lost it. No. Alright, I've nailed it before, and I think I just nailed it there.
But absolutely.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
That was an episode.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video of Two's Company, Three's a Podcast. We really appreciate it. Wasn't it really something? Why don't you drop a comment down below while you're still here on what you thought about that video. And once you're done, go check out the next video. Feel free to hit subscribe as well. I think it'll be a really good investment for your future.